Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 19 of the Elouise Show, featuring Jordan Lowe. Jordan Lowe is a 23-year-old creative from Richmond, Virginia, who is now based out of New York City. He currently works in the media industry at Complex Networks, where he actively uses his creativity to contribute to his culture. With a hand in all aspects of art and entertainment, Jordan's main focus is to reach and inspire the minds of those who engage with his work. Welcome, Jordan. How are you feeling today?
Feeling good. I'm feeling good. Happy to be here. You know what I'm saying? Doing my thing. So I'm just excited. I hope we can get deep today. I want to get deep. I want to talk. I got a vent. I got a lot of things on my chest. So I'm excited to be here. A little anxious about the presidential election, everything going on with that. But we'll talk.
Oh, we definitely have to get into that. Definitely have to get into that today.
So
Happy Wednesday,
happy Wednesday.
Women Crush Wednesday. I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Who's your Woman Crush Wednesday? Just out of curiosity.
I'm gonna say Drea Michelle. Shout out Drea.
Really?
A lot of people don't like her, but she's cool.
Do
I
you
think.
believe wholeness can be deleted? Different
So what?
conversation for. I said, do you believe wholeness can be deleted, or is that a different conversation for another day?
That's a deep dive right there.
That's what every time someone mentions Drea Michelle, that is the quote that comes to mind because that is, I feel like, the quote that on the map.
I literally don't know nothing about her, so she could be crazy.
But I gotta send you this interview. She was on the Breakfast Club. Was she? She's from Basketball Wives, right? She was on. I'm sorry. I should know more about reality TV, but I do so horrible with it. But I believe she's from Basketball Wives. She was on the Breakfast Club. I love watching Breakfast Club interviews and interviews in general.
Yeah.
And like I remember she was like, I believe wholeness can be deleted. And I remember that was just like a big thing when she said it. Everyone was flipping out.
Yeah, that's a deep dive right there. Like this whole nother conversation of its own.
So yeah, it definitely is. So in your intro, I mentioned that you work at Complex
Yeah.
Networks. So talk to me a little bit about what you do over at Complex.
That. So what I do over at Complex, basically I'm a social editor. That's my title. So that consists of me cutting and creating content for our social platforms. Mainly with the show Everyday Struggle, which is a hip hop talk show that comes on daily. But I can do like other shows at times too. So, but it's mainly Everyday Struggle. So just creating content, coming up with ideas, being creative every day.
But so let's break it down for maybe anyone who's listening, who's not within the media industry and maybe not savvy as it relates to media, period. What does it mean to create content as it relates in general and then specifically as it relates to your job?
Okay. Create content. I think create content in a general aspect is forming an idea in your head and manifesting an idea and watching it come to life, come to fruition. Um, it could be you taking that idea from beginning to end, or it could be like a group effort where somebody comes up with the idea and then you come in and you help. But creating, period, is just seeing an idea come to life. So at Complex, basically what I do is I will come up with ideas along with the producer that works on the show with me. And we will come up with ideas for like just social content like promos, quote cards, poll questions that we want to ask our fans to engage with the content, or just things like I'll take the episode that we worked on and I'll cut down like little like minute long clips for Instagram for those people that can't make the full episode on YouTube. So this is making it more accessible to people on different platforms. Some people are on Twitter more than they're on YouTube. Some people are on Instagram more than Facebook. You get what I'm saying? So
Okay.
yeah.
So that sounds like a lot of work. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Watching clips, rewatching episodes, cutting it down to minute clips, trying to predict what will do well on a social media landscape. Like,
Yeah.
ah,
We're viral every day.
you're like every day, 9 to 5. That's what I do.
Straight up. Yeah.
So okay, so this is what you do, but then I saw that you were featured on Complex's website for a Ray-Bans campaign.
I mean, hold on. this isn't a branding, but you know what I'm saying? Shout out Ray-Bans. Shout out Complex for that. Spire. I'm hyped that they finally, you know, recognize my looks. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. It's about time. Like, it's about the time. Like,
I'm just happy that they really realized that I'm really him. I'm really him.
yeah. Pretty it's about time. But nah, for real, like on a serious note, it was a great opportunity. And it's crazy because we did that shoot in the midst of this pandemic. So it was actually like different than how they normally do like shoots like that. Like it was over Zoom, just like this. Like the makeup artist was on Zoom and like you're doing everything through Zoom. And it's just like really just you, the photographer, and some of the other like producers there. And it came out really nice, you know. So
I think it was really, really dope, the way that they featured, and it was you and it was a couple of other people that worked at Complex, but it wasn't a lot of people. Complex Networks is a big organization, so I feel like you had to be kind of honored to be one of the people that were selected. And the shades that you had on were so fire. Did you
yeah,
get to keep it? Did you get to keep it?
yeah, it's right here. Right
Put
there.
them
This
on. Put them
yeah.
on.
I'm on. No, I don't go with the fit. I can't do all that. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, but it was great. It was an amazing time. It was my first time like actually officially like modeling with like a brand and everything. So um, I'm all here for new experiences. So it was super dope just to be able to tap in with that.
No, I thought it was really cool. I like what was written. I like your quote in your section. Super
Yeah,
fire.
yeah.
So okay, let's backtrack a little bit. What exactly got you interested in the media industry?
Okay. See, with that question, we're gonna have to take all the way back to the beginning.
Let's take it back.
Let's take it back. All right. So as a youngin, I always knew that like I had
I'm out. Because as a youngin, you're 23 years old. Like I can't even.
No, I mean as a young, like I'm talking about like five, like I'm talking like way back, man.
Oh, as a child.
Youngin.
Okay.
Nah, but like yeah, way back when, I always knew that like I had like this great purpose, like I was here to do something big, right? Like even as like toddler, like I knew like I'm gonna do something great. But the problem was figuring out what that will look like. Like what am I doing exactly? And so I just knew like it was gonna be something. And so growing up, I had like all these like dream occupations that I wanted. Like one time it was basketball, another time it was scientist, another time it was graphic designer, video game designer, stuff like that. And it wasn't until my freshman year of high school, I took this geometry class with this guy named Chris. And Chris, he was a filmmaker and he was like the same age as me and he's like making his own films. He's making these short films. He's making like music videos. He's doing all this different stuff. And it's so cool because when I seen him do it, I'm like, yo, I can reach the same age. I can literally do this too, right? So my dad, he does video as well. So he has cameras, he has like editing software and all these things. So I'm like, okay, well, I have the equipment to do this. I have the means to do it. So I go home and I'm watching hours upon hours of YouTube tutorials. I'm watching like these guys, their name was like Film Riot. I don't know if they're still around, but basically they were making tutorials on how to get like effects that they put in real movies, but in your own films. And they were making it easy for people to do at home. So me as a freshman in high school, I'm watching this. I'm like, bet I'm about to make the best movies ever. Of course, it wasn't the best movies ever. But once I started doing that, the ball started getting rolling. So I started teaching myself how to edit and, you know, how to shoot. I'm linking up with my friends every day. We're filming parodies of like movies. We did a Home Alone parody. And so that got the ball rolling for me as a creative. And so at that moment, like my purpose started to form, at least from how I could see it, it started to form at that time. And so each time I would create, it started to solidify itself in my life. And so, yeah, so now I like really classify myself as a creative because remember how I mentioned before, I wanted to be like all these different things,
Yeah.
scientists and all this stuff. And for me, it's really just the means doesn't matter, like how I do it. So music, video editing, fashion, like all that stuff, it doesn't matter how I do it. I just have this end goal. And as long as I can reach that end goal, I'm happy.
What is the end goal?
So the end goal for me is through my art, through my creativity, to be able to turn on the light bulb for somebody else and like basically help them realize that they can do it too, and that life is not a race, it's a marathon. So it's a passing of the baton. So once you hit your finish, you pass it on to the next man, you pay it forward to them so that they can take it farther than you could ever took it. So I know that there's so many people like me who've been in situations like I've been in, where you're down bad and you thinking like, oh, it might not happen. And you mentioned how you watch a lot of interviews, and I do too. And when I watch these interviews, so many times they skip past the part when they were depressed in their dorm room. They go from when they were living with their mom, and then they jump to the song that they made that blew up. And so I want to focus on that aspect of when like it seemed like nothing was working, because so many people, they stop creating in those moments. They get discouraged.
You know,
Yeah.
it's crazy because my friends and I, we were talking about, actually, no, well, yeah, friend Penny, who was on the show last week,
Yeah.
is a friend of mine, but we had mentioned the fact that, like, you know, it's work. And we were talking about the fact that, like, nobody sees, like, what you go through on the day to day. Like, nobody, all they see is like the product, but they don't know how many years you have in it. They don't know what trial and error looks like. They don't know what was thrown in your way along the way. Like, especially in the media industry, especially if you're someone who's in front of the camera,
Mhm.
well, any position in the media industry, nobody cares,
Right.
period, about what you have going on. Just do your job. But
Yeah.
especially if you're in front of the camera, like, you have to show face all the time. So it doesn't matter, like, if there was a death in your family, it doesn't matter. You could have gotten robbed right before you got to the studio. Like, it does not matter what happened before you got to your job. The only thing is, you got to do your job, and you better show up, because if you don't show up, there's 1,000 people trying to take your job
Yeah. Every day. Every day.
every day.
Yeah.
Like, is your job hiring? Because, you know, I video edit too.
I'm gonna have to check that for you. But yeah, really, that's the thing, and I can't fault too many people for that idea, because that's what it looks like on social media. Like, that's our reality. Like, seeing is believing. So when you see something, it's like you think that's what it really is, and so that's why I think the main thing for me is transparency, in any position. So I'll let people know the good, the bad, the ugly, and not paint my life to be this thing. And even times I still struggle with it. Like, I should be even more transparent, but I'm trying to get better every day with that.
Being more transparent as a creative helps you to create, I feel like, beautiful work, you know?
Sure.
Because the more honest you are, like, as unique as we are as individuals, we're really not that different from one another. Like, we all essentially go through the same things in different ways.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you're honest in your work, like, people are going to connect to it, because somebody is going through the same things that you're going through, or the same things that you've been through, you know?
Big facts. I can't agree more. That's facts.
All right. So I got a question, because you work at this major organization, which I feel like is, you know, a really big name, specifically as it relates to hip hop culture. And I'll even argue pop culture, because hip hop is now becoming pop culture, if it's not already.
Mhm.
Um, how common is it to see, like, Black men and women working within our industry? And then, like, what positions do you see them in?
That's a good question. Um, so I'll say for me personally, I'm blessed to have a lot of peers within the industry that look like me. So I know a few people, but there should always be more, right? Like like you said, hip hop culture is hip hop culture, Black culture is culture, like just
Period.
culture, right? So we should have ownership of our own culture, you know, and we should have more roles in our culture. And so then the question is like, what does that look like, right? And it's funny because the other day I was having a conversation with my cousin, and we were talking about how everybody wants to be the it guy. And even myself, everybody wants to be the it guy. They want to be the person in the spotlight. They want to be Drake or LeBron, right? Now, what if you being Charlemagne or Stephen A would get you way higher than what you would be if you wanted to, instead of being the it guy, right? So that's like one of the hard things to do. Like that's tough, sitting yourself down and asking yourself, like, am I supposed to be the rapper or am I supposed to be something else? And
What is it that I'm really good at? How is it that I really shine despite what I want to do? Like, what is my,
you're
you know,
calling.
calling?
It's your calling. And so that takes self-awareness. And so I think in the culture, like, like I said, everybody like wants to be the rapper or the singer or whatever. But there's so many roles in hip hop and media that you can still be a part of the culture and help push the culture without being, that person. And who knows? I feel like we're called to do more than one thing. So maybe being the Charlemagne is the stepping stone to you being the Drake. But everybody just assumes that no, being the it guy for rap or whatever is what comes first. So I just like to see more people tap in with our culture and take the different roles and the different jobs that come with it.
So
And
what are the spaces that we're occupying? Like, what roles do you see us in? And what spaces would you like to see us occupy more? Where do you see like there's a lack
mm,
of representation, Black and brown bodies in media?
media, I would like us to have more a hand more in I would say like just overall creation of content. So I guess that would look like a producer role. So
Mhm.
just people being able to like get their ideas out and having a system to push those ideas. For example, before I was like when I just started with the video work and everything, and I had ideas, I had to get my camera, I had to, get my friends together and we're shooting it. And after we shoot it, it's like it's up to us to push it. But it'll only go so far because at the time we didn't have that many like connections and stuff like that. And so I feel like there's so many great Black and brown creatives that need that system. They need that company that will take their idea, put a budget behind it, give them a team to work with, and actually push these ideas. Because man, there's so many talented people out here.
That's a fact. That's a fact. There's so many talented people out here. There's so many people who don't have these budgets, and so many people who make marvelous, art
Right,
with limited resources. And I think those are the people that really do need the funding, because if you can make something out of nothing,
right.
imagine if you had something.
That budget. You had that budget, man. They going far. They going straight to the stars.
I talk about this production team all the time, I think, on this show.
Mhm.
But like Sage Love Productions creates like amazing work, and they self-produce. Like, they don't have any backing from like any major production companies or anything like that. It's just they're truly an independent film company.
That's fire.
And like they have a couple of pieces that have like been in so many film festivals and doing well in these film festivals. And I think it's marvelous. Like, from my perspective, they're like arguably like the Spike Lee of our time,
Okay, okay.
the 40 acres and a mule of
I
our
gotta
time.
tap in.
So
I gotta check them out if that's the case.
no, check them out. They're really dope, and their content like fills a void within the media industry, which is really hard to say in 2020 because there's so much content out there. You know?
Yeah, you gotta drop the at so people can check them out.
At Sage Love Productions on Instagram.
So,
So speaking of Instagram,
yeah.
I like to it's Instagram is probably my favorite social media platform. And
Lurking.
I really like to look at people's pages because I feel like people's pages are like, little scrapbooks. Like, it's
Mhm.
pieces of their life that they like to share with the world, whether it's contrived or natural. And so on your page, while looking on your IG page, I noticed that you dabble in music.
Mhm.
So talk to me about your music.
My music. Yeah, my music is just another way that I create and show, like try to be transparent and give off part of me. So I just like to have, like, if you notice, I got I got the setup right here. But yeah, I like to just have access to these things. You know, one day I might wake up and I want to shoot a video. Next day I might wake up, I want to make a song. And so if I don't have access to this, then it's just like, this is like I can't create today. So yeah, it really just started like after I was making a lot of content. Me and my homeboy, we wanted to just try music. Like we wanted to drop a song on our birthday, and so we went to the studio. We made a song, and it came out really dope. Like we played it for our friends. They was rocking with it, and so we decided like, yo, we should make a group. You know, we should stick with it. And so we started doing like shows in Richmond, Virginia, in that area, and we was just making songs, making songs, and then I fell in love with the process. I've been on a hiatus though since like
2019. I saw.
yeah, I haven't dropped a song. I
I
haven't
saw.
dropped a song since.
I was looking for like to see if you dropped anything this year because I was gonna try to quote,
You're
bars.
gonna come with the bars, break it down like genius.
I'm gonna throw you at you.
Yeah. I haven't dropped, and like I haven't even dropped that much music. Like period. Like I have so much music, like my phone, hard drives, and stuff like that. I'm still creating. I created in 2020, all 2020.
Isn't that the beautiful thing about like being a creative? Like, so I'm not a hoarder in life. Like I don't like clutter. I like to throw things out.
Mm,
But what I refuse to throw out, like you cannot get me to throw out anything that I created. I have all my papers.
really?
I have every poem that I've ever written. I have like all my paintings. Like I just can't throw it out.
Get rid
Someone
of
tried to buy a painting from me once, and I was like, "That's not for sale."
it. Nah, I feel you. I'm low key the same way. Like I do have like a collection of all the skits and stuff I used to do back in the day, just to watch them. You know.
Yeah, anything that I don't have is on a hard drive that crashed, but I still have those hard drives because I believe that somebody is going
One day
to.
you'll get them to work.
Oh,
Fingers crossed.
well, yeah, I got some fire, like just some fire shots on one of my hard drives. I traveled,
Mm.
and was away for a summer and like got some amazing footage, and the hard drive crashed, and I'm just
Wow,
like,
you sick. You was crying.
nah, I literally.
Dang.
You know what it is to be a creative in the media industry if you've had literal tears over a crashed hard drive.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's part of it.
Like my life.
That's a
My
rite of
entire
passage.
life.
Like you have to go through that to call yourself a creative.
Yeah, if you've never experienced the pain of that kind of loss, then you're not for real.
I've been through so many hard drives, like you wouldn't even imagine.
I invested in a cloud. Now I have two clouds and I back stuff up on hard drives, but I back up everything that like I cannot lose in my clouds.
Okay.
Every time.
Valid now.
Yeah, nah.
Nah,
Nah.
nothing else.
We done. We done. So what is it that you ultimately like I know you want to inspire people
Mhm.
with your art, but what would you say is your message through your art? Like what is it that you're trying to say? Whether it be, through a film or through a song, like what you talking about, Willis?
You can do it too. I want, when I mentioned earlier about interviews and like watching interviews and seeing people jump the whole chapter and just talking about the song that blew them up as if it was like a one day thing. When I was in college, seeing stuff like that used to make me so discouraged because it was like that stuff is like a needle in a haystack, blowing up overnight. And it almost never seemed like a long, like uphill battle. But that's what I was facing every day when I was creating. And so I want to prove, like, I want to show people that no, like when you put time in, that's like the best way to get it. And so just to show people you can do it too, but also just be positive. Also, like it's hard to see a lot of positivity nowadays, like in the media. A lot of people they get so popular off being selfish and only caring about themselves. So I want to do the opposite. Like I want to flip it. Like I want to show people that it's okay to be a good person, to give back and be positive to other people, and you can get just as far, if not farther, than the people that are like stingy with their bread and like stingy with the clout. Like I tell people all the time, I give all my sauce away. Like if you want it, if you want to know how I do every single thing, I'll tell you. Like it's no secret.
And each one. I think that that's very empowering. And so like you think of like books like The 48 Laws of Power,
Mhm.
where like it literally, essentially one of the laws basically tells you to like teach, but don't teach everything that you know.
Mhm.
But that's like manipulative to me. That's kind of controlling. You have a lot of people in this generation specifically who are super into that. But I really do believe that we can get so much farther by teaching people what we know, because they might master what we know and then teach us something in the end on the one side, right? But
Right.
then on the other hand, like I just feel like love is stronger than fear. So
Mhm.
if people
Yeah.
genuinely love you as a person, if they genuinely love what you do, like they're gonna rock with you longer than if they were scared of you. Because if someone's scared of you, eventually they're gonna try to take you out.
Right. I made a whole video on my YouTube channel like a few months ago off of that. Like I was telling people to make decisions based off love rather than fear. So it's so interesting that you say that because I feel the same way.
Well, what is your YouTube channel again?
Jordan Lowe, but we rebranding right now. We in a rebranding process. So don't check it out just yet. Don't
All
check it out just yet.
We updated.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was your old stuff. You got new stuff.
Yeah, on the way. On the way. Coming
New
soon.
stuff. New. I feel you. I've
Hmm.
been, I've been grinding this year, and there's so much stuff that's like bubbling. I can't wait for everything to come out.
That's that's the best feeling. Like when you just have so much content, like you sitting on and you're like ready to get it out.
And it's like it's all collaborations too. Like this is truly been the year of collaborating for me.
Mhm.
So it's just like I'm just waiting for everyone to I'm waiting for my friends to release their work that I'm a part of.
Yeah,
Um
yeah.
it's just
Brand
next
about to
year.
go crazy.
2021 is going to be an exciting time, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
All right. So let's talk, because there's a theme with you, like from your look to like the artwork that you do to even where you work. Like hip hop is a major part of your life.
Mhm.
How important do you think that hip hop is with regards to specifically with regards to today's society?
Super important. Like rappers and singers and just all like artists in the music realm, they're like our superheroes. They're like the spokespeople for our communities. And so like that role in itself is important. Like you're like literally saving people's lives like when you put out music, and they're like taking it in because they feel like they finally have someone that they can relate to, somebody that understands them. But also like they speak for you too to people that might not understand you, right?
Mhm.
Like I might not be going through a certain thing, but then when I put in an artist that's going through that certain thing, I can now relate, I can now understand like that pain and like what they're going through. And some people don't know how to like voice that. So music is a nice way to feel, like you can feel what somebody's going through rather than like.
So you kind of raise a really interesting point, right?
Mhm.
About like how different experiences are expressed, through music, specifically hip hop. But we live in an age and an era where people argue that like artists aren't writing their own songs, right? So like if you're not writing your songs, are we talking about your life experiences? That's one part. And then the other part is where like artists are creating situations that they've never been through. What's your take on that? Can those songs still um help people to relate and get through whatever they're going, or is that like not okay?
My opinion, I love it. Like I love it. So then I would ask like, what's your favorite movie? Like don't movies do the same thing? Aren't I mean, besides the ones that are like biopics, but a lot of movies are fiction, are made up, but we can still feel for a character. We can empathize. We can still understand a new perspective through a made up story, right? So I think artists that can craft that, artists or writers that can craft that, that can write about experience that they never been through, but empathize with the person and tell it from that POV. I actually think that's talent. Like I think that's talent to me.
So in your eyes, Drake is one of the GOATs.
Yeah, I used to hate Drake. Well, not hate Drake, but hate on. If that's the same thing, I don't know if that's the
Hate
same.
on Drake because that was a cool thing to do at a point.
Yeah. But now, like, he's just undeniable. Like, Drake is Drake. Like, people can't do what he can do. Like, he's just different with it. You know, the master of cadence. Like, you could literally hop in the booth right now and try to spit a song the same way he spit it, and it won't be the same. It won't hit the same. It's just because it's Drake. Like, he's different with it.
What about Nicki? How you feel about Nicki? Since we're on the former
He's
young.
a rapper, but the personality, I don't know.
Let's talk about her music.
Yeah, fire. Yeah, she's great.
Undeniable talent, right?
She's great. She's great.
Naturally, because she's from New York.
Oh, you like Nicki? I can tell now.
Well, I love I'm fond of female rappers. It takes a lot for me not to like a female rapper. Um, you know, but I'm biased towards rappers from New York, being from New York.
Okay.
But with that said, there's dope rappers from all over the place. What's what's unfortunate to me in hip hop, mainstream hip hop, is its inability to like highlight the diversity within female rap, because we talk about the diversity of hip hop, but when we talk about that, we talk about it from like the male perspective. And
Yeah.
you know, you can talk about like these conscious rappers, these underground rappers, these, you know, trap music rappers, these sing rappers. Like you can go into like everything as it relates to men, but with women, you only want to highlight the women who kind of like over sexualize themselves through music. But then you have so many other like hip hop artists that are women that are phenomenal. Like the age of Queen Latifah did not die. Like we have Rhapsody, we have Rock, like we have so many like amazing female rappers out there that just don't get enough recognition. I'm not gonna say that they don't get any recognition, but they don't get enough in my eyes.
What do you think the solution to that is?
Um, radio, like I don't know, because like I don't even know that a lot of people are getting their music from radio right now. I feel like a lot of people are getting their music from streaming services and playlists. You know, that's how I find a lot of new music, is on playlists. um I don't know, I think it might be the our culture. Like a lot of our generation right now isn't trying to listen to something to feed their soul. I
Yeah,
think
I mean, I I feel like, you know, it's there. Like the like you said, the conscious music and all that stuff is there. It's just like, but if you put it out to people and they're not clicking on it and they don't want it, it's just like, I don't really have a solution for that either.
No, because like, so for instance, let's take Cyrock. Cyrock, I think at the beginning of this year, she released a song called Goddess Gang, and it hits. Like it hits. It's fire. And like, I just feel like if you're a woman, period, like that needs to be your ringtone, your voicemail tone. Nobody does that anymore. Your voicemail tone. It needs to be the song you wake up to. Like it's fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? Um, but people don't really know about that. But everybody knows the lyrics to WAP.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Of course.
And don't get me wrong, I think diversity is important in your catalog. You know, you gotta have something to lift your spirit, and then you gotta have something to like get down with.
Yeah. But like people always gonna gravitate to that shock value, like whatever that content is that's just controversial. Like that's always gonna happen. So like it's no surprise to me that WAP like did what it did and just went crazy because people like that kind of stuff.
And then the video is equally out there.
Yeah.
And then people wanted to well, we won't get into that. The uproar about Kylie Jenner being in the video.
I don't get it.
So on the topic of like hip hop artists. Specifically today, the day after elections.
Yeah, I don't know if you got
um,
news or not.
and there was a major push, I feel like, in media this year to vote.
For sure.
Social media, like whether you were on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, no matter what social media outlet you were on, like there was that little bar for information on voting. There was like every celebrity was talking about like the necessity to vote, like making sure you know when to vote, when to register to vote, like early voting, mail-in ballots for absentee, like everything. It was just all out there. The information was like in your face.
Mhm.
Um, and here we are, 8:35 on November 4th,
Right.
and we still don't know. Wait, let me check. Let me
Yeah,
make sure
you
I'm saying.
might know. I don't know. I'm still
We
nervous about
still
this.
don't know. Hold on, let me refresh this
Yeah,
page. I've been tracking this all day.
yeah, me
So
too.
Biden is leading right now.
You got
And we're really just waiting on. I feel like Nevada is really his only hope at this point.
we almost there. I'm
He's
still it
leading
could go
it.
80 way. Like I'm still nervous though.
How do you feel about the outcome so far? Like obviously we don't know who won yet, but like this is a historic moment.
Yeah.
Like, this has never happened.
Hmm.
Usually by now we know.
Um. Yeah, it's crazy. I've been anxious all day. Just watching it. I had it on literally all night. Actually, like I had my laptop right beside me, and I was streaming off seeing it. Like I went to sleep, woke back up, and it was still going. Like just because I wanted to check it. But like it's nerve wracking, but it's also kind of disappointing too. Um, everybody thought that going into this, it would be like we would win by a long shot. Well, not we, but Biden would win by a long shot. And seeing that it is this close shows you that morally a lot of people stand on the other side of the fence. And so that's kind of disheartening because like regardless of who wins, just knowing that you can go outside and your brother or your neighbor could like not rock with you at all. Like
I'm not mad at how close the race is actually, because I think it is a realistic representation of our nation. And what I'm really happy about is like I saw the seats in Senate and the House of Representatives, like how those elections were panning out too. And it's pretty much 50-50. And don't get me wrong, like there are certain things that are important to me that won't be important to the next person. So I vote the way that I want to vote. But I think that having you know, a Senate and a House that's like 50-50 is kind of dope, because now anything that they're trying to pass, anything that needs to get done will be evenly weighed out, and I feel like whatever decision they come to will be for the most part an accurate representation of what's best for everybody, as opposed to what's best for a select few. And I think that we tend to have the issue where the House and Senate swings one way or the other, you know? So I think that that's dope. As it relates to the election, this is exciting. Like it's an unfortunate. I mean, there's a lot of information that came out about both candidates as people,
yeah,
and I've never been the president of anything,
yeah,
so
right.
I don't know what it takes to run a country, but what I can say is that like it's just an exciting time. It's a historic moment in a historic year, and it's definitely great to watch. When I woke up this morning, it was the first thing I tuned into too.
That's an interesting POV. Um, like that excitement. Like I feel you, but it's like I don't feel that much excitement. Because it's like, I mean, excitement to the fact that like hopefully, Biden will win and the country would go in, I guess, the right direction, quote unquote. But
But will it? Because especially in New York, like I know that people are preparing for riots. And if these riots are going to happen, I feel like these riots are going to happen either way. If it's
Yeah, yeah,
Trump
yeah, yeah,
riots
yeah, yeah.
are
Yeah,
possible, and if it's Biden riots are possible, maybe not in New York, but in the South, like,
yeah,
so either way, like, it's not like getting a new president is going to completely cover up what was uncovered in the last 4 years, the amount of like the
yeah, what?
fact that racism still exists, the amount of bigotry, the amount of hate, the fact that we've highlighted the fact that, you know, Black people aren't exaggerating when they're talking about their experiences, because now it's been like it's been, you know, on spotlight.
For sure.
It's not going to change anything. If anything changes, and if it changes quickly, the only thing that's happening is that it's being hushed up. You know, I feel like we have a lot of serious work to do within our nation and in our society, regardless of who's president.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, like there's always going to be a lot of work that needs to be done, and especially now more than ever. Um, but it is different. I feel like it's a little bit different when one person leads with hate and another person doesn't. Um, and so Trump for the past 4 years, it's been clear that he leads with hate. He has no problem leading with hate, and he never apologizes for his hate and or any mistakes that he makes. And so it's like,
Even
oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go
Go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say.
No, what I was gonna say, even like right now, like with how he's handling like these votes coming
Right,
in,
right, right.
you know?
Yeah, exactly. So that was my main thing. Just seeing like I already knew it was divided, but when you actually see like the red and blue, like you really see like, oh snap, like yo, we really divided. And for me, it's like I know everybody has a different perspective, but it's so hard for me to understand a perspective of like Trump because it's just like rooted in ignorance and like I don't think you can make sense out of ignorance. You know, like somebody who can go and be at a debate and then get fact checked and everything he said was a lie, like straight cap. It's like, how can you even like defend that in a logical argument? Like when the person who's leading you is straight lying about every fact that they have. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
I just look at it like that means that those people have vested interest in other things. It's not what he's saying, it's what he's doing that interests them. So he can be,
yeah, for sure.
you know, the
So yeah.
childish liar of them all. But so long as what he does in his day-to-day job benefits, I guess, the people who are voting for them, they don't care how he presents.
They don't care. And that even ties back to what you were saying when you asked the question about like how hip hop is like intersecting with politics. Because seeing like people like Wayne and Lil Pump and Anuel,
Lil
uh,
Pimp,
yeah, Lil Pimp, Lil Pimp, Anuel, and all those type of people, and seeing them Kodak, and seeing them like supporting Trump is crazy because it's so like selfish. Like they really supporting this man because of the tax plan that Biden wants to do, and it's like for me when I go to vote, a portion of me thinks about me and my interests, but I think about other people. Like I'm an empath, so like I'm always thinking about other people. Like there could be something that Trump does that doesn't really impact me, but impacts my neighbor, and so when I go vote, I think about them. So when these rappers, we putting millions in their pocket. Black culture is literally putting millions in your pocket. And when you go vote, you don't think about none of the people who made you rich. You think about your own personal dollars in your checkings account. I can't get with that. I can never get with that.
I think the worst part of it all is that I don't know if they know that they're being used as a spectacle and don't care, or or
Trump
or
cutting that check.
yeah, I don't know if they know that they're being used as a spectacle and don't care, or if they just don't know. But either way, that's what I'm not cool with, because it's the spectacle of it all. Because there's somebody who maybe isn't informed, who's looking at, Little Wayne saying, okay, yeah, I'm gonna vote for Trump, and now this naive person who's not like doing their research is
Yeah.
like, oh wait, if Wayne is for Trump, then I'm for Trump, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. You know how people work. It's like groupthink out here. So you see somebody else, it's automatically like your opinion. When you see somebody else state it. So
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. uh
But
kind of.
Wayne actually didn't surprise me because he's made comments like these like before. Like that did not surprise me at all seeing Wayne do that.
I mean, I voted for Kanye.
You said you voted for Kanye. Get out of here, yo. Get out of here. I ain't trying to hear
He
that.
wasn't even on the ballot in New York.
That's crazy. He got like 60, 70,000 votes too. Like,
I mean, honestly, that's impressive.
yeah. that's crazy to me. Like,
Like,
that's
if he really wanted to run for presidency, he should just waited for like the next go round.
yeah, he said 2024, he's coming back.
He remembered to file his paperwork on time. Is the only thing I'm thinking.
That is wild. Like imagine Kanye really being president. Like
oh, one of my friends and I were talking about this yesterday. So if Kanye was president, I know what his stimulus plan would be. His stimulus plan would be that there is a uniform for all Americans, right? And we must wear Yeezys, right? But they will not be granted to us. We have to buy them because the money will then stimulate our economy if we're all buying Yeezys.
That's an eye theory. That's an eye theory, dude.
I'm Kanye's campaign manager.
Look, you gotta get them follow a smooth block.
Okay, yeah, no. So let me look at where we're at. I checked. We're still waiting. We're still waiting to hear. When do you think we'll find out about like these states like Pennsylvania and Nevada?
I think late tonight.
Well, yeah, because Nevada's at, hold on, let me see, get real-time election results. Nevada is at, what's the percentage of votes that they checked? Hold on. Oh, 75%. So they have 25% of the ballots left to like go through.
Or
Pennsylvania is at 88%, but Pennsylvania is erring on the side of Trump. I don't know, but I think that this gap is decreasing. I can't remember what number it was at before. Last night I was on it.
Yeah, Trump is like demanding like recounts in like Wisconsin and like different places. So
what do you want to see change in our nation over the next few years?
I just want to see more empathy. I want to see more people trying to understand one another, you know, and not like seeing like all this like greed and selfishness.
You don't want to see greed in a capitalist society?
I don't want to see greed in a capitalistic society.
So essentially you want us to, move over to the socialist way of being.
Yep.
I mean, I get you. I get you. I hear you. I don't know that that's possible in our country.
I feel that. But I feel like I'm doing it right now. Like I'm empathizing with other people. Why is this emotion so hard? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if I can do it, the next man can do it. I'm tired of treating these grown adults like they kids. Like, do it. My little niece knows how to empathize with the next man. So it's like, come on. Like, I don't gotta hold your hand through it. Like, just do it. Like, people only worry about their own situation, and it's like so many other people are being affected every single day. Just spend 5 minutes thinking about what somebody else is going through, and it's like it'll change your whole perspective.
That's a fact. I agree that would arguably make our society better, but
it ain't going like that.
I like, and it's so sad because I don't want to say it, but I can't see it. I can't see it happening here in America.
Yeah, I don't think racism ever gonna go away, ever.
With that said, like, what do you feel like outside of like, I know that, your brand is each one teach one. I know your brand is about being the change that you want to see in the world. But like, But like, what do you feel your responsibility is as an artist outside of that? Like, and then how do you uphold that?
Outside of that, that's an interesting question because
Yeah.
that's like my main message. That's the gist of me. You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, I would say use my voice, use my platforms. Like even as of recently, a lot of people like were let down when their favorite rapper or celebrity wasn't saying something about the George Floyd situation, right? And me personally, I'm not looking for like another entertainer to like speak, but I do feel like with great power comes great responsibility. So me personally, I hold myself to that standard. So when I do elevate in those bigger platforms, I'm going to speak because sometimes me speaking or leadership from another person can help somebody else. I guess that goes back to each one teach or whatever you were saying before. But yeah, using my voice, using my crafts, being consistent with my crafts, because there's somebody out there that might need that, and we don't even know that. There's people out there that need us, and we don't even know that. So low key, you like if my thing is making music, me stepping away from the booth and not dropping music like I haven't been doing, low key that's selfish because my music could have helped somebody in Massachusetts, could have saved their life.
So it was selfish of me not to sell my painting, is what you're saying.
Guess we'll never know, right? But it's really crazy when you think about it like that. Like there's people out there that need you. Like they need this show, they need this platform, they need the things that you do. They need your art.
Yeah, I think taking up the spaces that feel natural to you, and I guess this is what you're saying too, like taking up spaces that feel natural to you is important because like inherently you're like you're paving a way for someone else.
Yeah.
Just by existing, like you're making things easier for someone else. I think that's fire.
Like who would you say is your favorite rapper?
I hate this question. Um,
Just give me like somebody that you hold in a high like value.
Lauryn Hill.
Lauren.
Yeah, don't judge me.
No, I love Lauren. So say like with Lauryn Hill, right?
I gotta go with women.
Yeah. So Tupac has this quote, and he says that I might not be the one that changes the world, but I guarantee you, I'll spark the brain that changes the world, right? And so with Lauryn Hill, for example, what if Lauryn Hill had an OG, and say her OG inspired her to rap and to make music, right? But say her OG was a better rapper, better singer, better songwriter than Lauryn Hill was, right? But say the OG just didn't have the it factor. Say she didn't have the image and all the things that came with it and wasn't good at networking and making connections. So it wasn't her position to blow, right? But say that OG was selfish and was like, nah, I'm keeping the sauce. I'm not passing game to anybody else because I want to be the one from my hood. I want to be the one from where I'm from to make it out. And so then at that point, you would have never heard Lauryn Hill. At least there's a good chance of it. Lauryn Hill would have never came out because Lauryn Hill would have never got inspired or even would have known that it was possible to do it or even got game on how to do it, right? Mm-hmm. And so the OG who inspired Lauryn Hill, she was like, okay, it might not be me. I might not be the one that, is in front of the whole world in the limelight, but I can touch this youngin' right here. I can show her the way. So Lauryn Hill comes up, and now Lauryn Hill is touching you and touching millions of other people. So that's what it's all about. Like, we might not be the ones that's gonna go crazy, but it could be the person after us, or it could be the person after the person we inspire. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a chain reaction. Like, just touch as many people as you can. That's the main goal.
That's actually very inspiring.
Sorry about that.
I felt
Yeah.
that actually. All right. So every episode, I like to end it with a question, a variation of the same question. So I'm going to ask it to you now. What is your favorite part about being a Black man navigating the media landscape today?
Mm, I'd say, can I give you two answers? I gotta give you one. Like,
Absolutely. No, go for it.
okay. So I'm gonna say the cliche one that I say all the time, showing people that's possible. But number two, I would say paying it forward. Like, I've done it in small ways. I haven't had the chance to do it in a big way yet, but I'm so excited to be at the position where I can give somebody else literally an opportunity. Like, yo, here you go, you know, because that would be so lit. Like, so many people have to get out the mud just to like, get somewhere, just to scratch the surface. So the day that I can literally be in a position where it's like, no, you don't got to get out the mud. Like, I got out the mud, so you don't have to. Like, here you go, and do that. That's so dope. So that I do it in small ways, but the day that I can do it in a big way, just stay tuned because it's happening soon one day. Just stay tuned.
Yeah, and actually, I have an idea for you.
Okay.
No, offline about that.
I love
Well, Jordan, I want to thank you so much for joining me on the Elouise show. Oh, before I do this whole closing thing, where can people see your work, follow you, all that good stuff?
Follow me at Low Show Co, LOSHOWCO. That's on Instagram and Twitter. Once you're there, all the new stuff I do, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on another platform, I'll just put it all on Instagram and Twitter, so you'll be able to find the links. So yeah, find me there.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me on this evening's The Elouise Show. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you, everyone who tuned in and anyone who's tuning in the future.
Thank you for the opportunity. It's lit. Yeah.
Lit. Ciao.
So, peace.